How's it going?
Not too bad.
The first time I saw the Flaws was in Drogheda, actually. You supported director in McHugh's, well remembered. That was about 4 or 5 years ago.
Definitely.
So, by comparison to the set I saw this evening and what I would have seen 5 years ago, where are the Flaws now by comparison?
4 or 5 years ago, we had a different drummer. We had a guy called Stephen Finnegan on drums, and he left in 2007 and was replaced by Colin Barrell, who's been with us throughout all of our. Have to do this success. It's like limited to the bottom rung of whatever you can call it, but he's been there through all that, and so probably the biggest difference is probably we're a little bit tighter, a little bit older.
Yeah.
Obviously longer sets, we can hold our own. I think we've got a good selection of good tunes there that put some bands to shame maybe.
You guys have been around for a few years now, so as you enter another new year, what has changed for the Flaws, and also your perception of the Irish music scene?
It's every man for himself, I think, in the Irish music scene at the moment. No, it's not. There's still a little bit of a thing there. It was definitely a couple of years ago. There was much more of a scene. I felt there was a scene. I don't feel it now, although I know all the same bands are still going, we still say hello, but there was an exciting buzz about gigging in 2007, 2008, the bands were like, everybody go for it, just do it for it. And as I think over the year, as people went on to their second albums, everybody just got back into their own head, maybe like they were at the very start, so maybe it takes another wee while for a scene to develop. And obviously there's always a scene just for different bands, different bands grow up together, and then their scene's created, and then that phases out, then there's another scene that's created.
And are things better or worse than they would have been like when you started out? I mean, even around the time of getting on the Irish Times and
things better than worse. Things are maybe a bit easier. I know what I'm doing with my life, whereas then it was just like, what am I supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
I know I want to make music, and I also want to provide for me and mine.
Yeah.
So
do you worry about losing momentum? Because obviously a couple of years ago, signed to a major label, the Flaws were getting a lot more kind of press.
Definitely.
So I mean, like tonight, for example, great crowd, great gig. I mean, how does that respond to where you would have been 3 years ago?
Definitely, maybe there's not as many there tonight, but I blame that mostly on us going away for a while. Like, I went back to college, and maybe in hindsight that was not maybe the smartest thing to do, but like after we finished touring the last album, and it was a fantastic success on a very small scale, and as much as we could have expected what it was for us. But I went back to college. I went to do music in college, and I started a job teaching, and then it was only after a year of just being away from music I realised, oh God, I'd love to get back into this better. I don't know what I was thinking. Why am I not doing it? Of course, over the course of that year, people are going to say the Flaws. Oh yeah, they were good.
Yeah.
And then it's going to take a wee while for people to remember. But I think our strong point is that we can write really good songs.
Yeah. And in terms of like say Irish crowds, do you worry that Irish crowds don't support? I'll take it again. Do you worry that kind of Irish crowds don't necessarily support Irish bands enough?
No, because bands do get a lot of support. Look at Villagers and Kathy Davey, they get a lot of support. There's no shortage of support. I think maybe it's just getting heard on primetime radio and getting primetime TV slots can hinder a band's performance.
Yeah.
But it is in many respects it is who you know.
Yeah. So it's nearly 6 months on from Constant Adventure. How are you feeling about the album now?
It's a great album.
Yeah.
It is a great album. There's so many good songs on it. I still think nobody's heard it.
Yeah.
I think that maybe we released it at a bad time of year, late October, coming into a whole different Christmas push. All the best ofs, all the DVDs are coming out. Shrek 7 is going to be out in DVD, so it's going to push us off the charts, no doubt.
Yeah.
So maybe it was a bad time to release an album, but once again, all I can say is that we might have zero personality, but we have so much faith in the songs that we write that nothing can stop that. Nothing can stop.
Well, it's not as good as this drum and bass music that's taking over the scene at the moment, but it provoked the Irish Times to label you as infinitely better than Snow Patrol. How did you feel when you read that? Do you agree?
No, I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a weird thing to say. I don't like Snow Patrol.
No,
I don't listen to them. So I think, you know, when somebody does a quote like that, you start to think, or people start to think, oh, they must listen to Snow Patrol. I do not have a Snow Patrol record at all. You know, all I know of Snow Patrol is the radio. You know, and that's it. Snow Patrol. Let them do what they want to do. I'd kill for their success. You know, but you know, they're not my cup of tea.
Yeah, I guess you take the positive from it though, but they would.
Of course, yeah. Obviously, there is a positive there. You know, this is a very good band.
Yeah.
And they believe that, so you know, we're better than an average band.
Okay, so you're effectively on your own label now, Arrival Records.
Yeah, I think we always were, really.
Yeah. But like, I mean, what are the differences between being on, say, a major label like Polydor, apart from the obvious? I know, like, you know, you're on them for a while and it didn't go terribly well, but
the biggest difference was that Polydor, when we were there, it was Sound Foundation Records in Ireland, and we got all our gear. We're still using that gear, and they released one record, and it was a single called No Room, and that was it. And after that, it's just like, maybe the Irish music scene isn't what it was supposed to be. To them, I'm sure, because like, No Room didn't go to #1, it didn't sell like 1 million copies. It was no, so they pulled the plug. That's just the way they are. But it was good times, you know.
So it was completely business. There was no personality there. It was just colour.
Oh no! It was just like it was faceless. Yeah, definitely faceless.
Would that make you hesitant to sign to an MH label if someone came calling, or?
I deal with that if it happens. You know, it makes a difference to a band's survival sometimes. You know, but I think this beat is a good beat.
Oh, it's amazing.
I love this beat.
It's incredible. So based on like, you know, what we saw earlier on, you know, the live show was obviously very tight, planned, all that kind of stuff. How do you differentiate the live show by comparison to the album? Like, is one more important than the other, or?
I like making albums.
Yeah.
I love gigging. I just want to gig more, and you know, that's it. It's tough at the moment to get gigs, I think, for a lot of people. But I love gigging. But I think I love working on albums more. I love the demoing stage of making an album. That's the most exciting thing when you're finding a new idea and exploring that and seeing how that develops. I love that. Recording an actual album, that's fine, but it's the demoing stage where it's the most exciting. I feel like that's why I'm in a band. The demo. That's it.
With regards to the album, like, you know, as the years progress, vlogs come along, remixes come along. It seems like the individual song is more important than the album itself. How do you feel about that? Like, do you write an album as a coherent start to finish thing, or are you more important about? Are you more kind of like singles, songs, individual on their own, or is it kind of different?
I think on Constant Adventure, it was definitely I wanted to do an album.
Yeah.
I thought we had a couple of different songs and we could link them all thematically, and so we did that to an extent. With the Constant Adventure kind of thing, you know, it is a story. I think on Achieving Vegas we weren't thinking of albums. We were just writing songs, like a young band, just writing songs. That's a good song. That's a good song. Put that in the box. Put that in the box. Put that in the box. And then once we had 10 songs, we released an album. There was no. It was a singles album. We released like 7 singles off that album. Like a stupid amount. We should have been working on the next album at that stage, but we just kept pushing it and pushing it.
So, like, in that kind of terms, like I said, the album is becoming maybe less and less important.
Definitely, yeah. I can say.
Are you fighting for the album?
No. I'd love to do something else, like, you know, maybe at the end of the year do a couple of singles next year, then, and just, you know, release the best of those singles as an album.
Yeah.
You know, because I think you have to release an album. You just, you know, it's like, you know, if you have no penis, you're not a man. If you have no album, you're not a band.